it is about this Montie FM 3, a lot of petitions here and there, and the Daily Guide has this story that says that Tony Later against pardon for Montie 3 as pressure mounts on President John Mahama, and another paper also carried that same story. Okay, the Journal Telegraph. Daniel, let me quickly look at this one. Yes, the Daily Statesman is also talking about the nominee Deputy Minister Otibles in more trouble over Montie attacks on Chief Justice, and then also Occupy Ghana to Mahama and says rebuke appointee signing Montie 3 petition. So the news is that a lot of pressure being brought to bear on the presidency to use his powers to reduce the sentence on these persons. This morning we're told of a float in town that is expected to say thank you to the Supreme Court of Ghana for that verdict. But we're told that a lot of pressure is being brought to bear on the presidency. Comrade Ibrahim Murtala Mohammed, is indeed the president getting that pressure?
Well, the president can never be. No, I don't think there can be any pressure exerted on the president to do what he doesn't deem fit. And I also don't think that there can be any pressure exerted on the president not to do what he deems fit. But let's get something very clearly. The Constitution guarantees and determines the conduct of every single person in this country, including the Supreme Court justices. Article 58 talks about the executives and what they can do and what they cannot do. Article 93 talks about the legislature, which myself and my friend are all members, what we can do and what we cannot do. Of course, there are certain, if you like, protection that is given to members of parliament, certain things that we can say freely on the floor, and no court would take us on, except things that violates on the Constitution, and those things the court can determine. But our decisions, our discussions, our deliberations and debates are anchored and guided one by the Constitution and, most importantly, the standing orders of Parliament.
Right.
And that is why we have some immunities, more or less. There are certain things you can say in Parliament and no court would, because in an attempt to do that, there will be what they call the infringing on the principle of separation of powers. Of course, Article 125 talks about the conduct, the authority that the judiciary has. We have theories of separation of powers. Montesquieu's view is that there should be absolute and distinct, if you like, separation of powers, where the executive, the legislature, and the judiciary are completely distinct, and there can be interference. But Ghana, we are implementing what they call the John Locke's theory.
Right.
That yes, you can have separation of powers, you can have them distinct, but there's something he introduced as checks and balances, and those checks will check the conduct. The executive can do something, and there are a lot of, cases in Ghana that determines where the executive. I mean, even in America, you have what you call the Marbury and Madison. You have in Ghana, Ria Koto, a lot of cases. You have Judge Mensa and the Attorney General, a lot of cases. The NDC, MPP, and the IGP, you have a lot of cases in Ghana that determines the conduct of the executive in one way or the legislature, such that you cannot exercise powers beyond.
So your point is that there are checks and balances?
Yes, you cannot.
Great.
You cannot. Let us also understand that there is nowhere in the Constitution that says that the judiciary cannot be criticized. And let's get that very clearly. The judiciary can. There is nowhere in saying that decisions of the judiciary cannot be questioned. Decisions of the Supreme Court can be questioned, can be challenged. And that is why there is always a review. That if the Supreme Court indeed gives a ruling on a matter, you can go for a review.
Right.
Now, if you look at this case, I have listened to most interesting, comments that are made by people who ought to know. And I have listened to some of those comments, and unfortunately, the fact that those comments are made, exposed a section of the Ghanaian populace to the most outlandish and sometimes uninformed media work. I listened to a radio station on my way. Now, the Supreme Court indeed has sentenced some people on contempt, and I am not, and I would not have the capacity to question the decision of the Supreme Court. I won't question that. And I don't think that those who are signing that petition are saying that the Supreme Court did wrong. They are simply saying that that decision by the Supreme Court was harsh. That's what they are saying. Now, I have listened to...
And they have a right to.
Yes, they have the right. I have listened to comments. Some have even said that the foundation and the foundation of our democracy was under attack. The Supreme Court has taken a decision. What the people are doing... Is that
not their view?
I'm coming. What the people are doing, the petition they are signing, those petitions are also not against the Constitution. The Constitution gives them that opportunity to do so. And the Constitution also says that you can petition the president. Per Article 72, the president can give amnesty, can give pardon. Even hardened criminals, the president in his wisdom can either give pardon or can even reduce the sentences or commit. If someone is sent to, let's say, 100 years or, let's say, to death, the president in activating the Article 72 can go ahead and do that. So let's get something very clear. Just as it is within the constitutional right of people to say that, yes, we are happy that, yes, once again, people attacked the judiciary and decisions were taken. The people who are also signing the petition are not on street. They are not destroying anything. They are not attacking anybody. I have listened to the most outlandish comment made by a journalist on Joy FM this morning. That why? Nano Yelita, I don't know whether Nano Yelita has signed that petition. They said that. Please, there is a photograph of the president. There is a photograph of the president signing, which is absolutely a concoction of the MPP. And check on their platforms. The president never signed any petition.
No, but
I'm coming. I'm saying that the picture, the same picture. I'm saying that they showed the same picture of the president signing. I am sitting here. I'm saying that even
you're saying that she hasn't signed.
I don't know.
Oh, okay, but
I'm saying that even if Nana Oyelita signs,
yes,
there is absolutely nothing wrong with that. There is nothing wrong with that.
Okay.
The decision of the judiciary, and I think that I'm not saying that the judiciary ought not do what they did. They have the right constitutionally, to commit anybody to contempt who undermine the integrity of the judiciary, particularly when there is a pending cases, okay? But I'm saying that it is within the constitutional and the democratic right of anybody, whether a minister or not a minister, to sign that. And let us not begin questioning the exercise of people's democratic right. And they think that we want to petition either the president or even the chief justice on ABCD. We want to do that. And then that has become so sacrilegious, that has become so bad, then people are even saying that the president should have problems with if you have ministers who have signed to that. I think that we need, let us look at the Constitution is like a double-edged sword.
You can't take that
anyway.
Okay. No, he has 1 minute to wrap up.
So my conclusion is just that, yes, in as much as we respect the decision of the Supreme Court, when the Supreme Court ruled when the Supreme Court ruled in the elections, Nanado said, yes, I disagree, but I have to respect it.
Okay.
So people can also say, I disagree with the decision of the Supreme Court, but you have no reason than to respect that decision. Okay. However, there are other constitutional provisions that gives you the opportunity. If you want to petition the president so that the president can pardon those people, you can do that. Okay. If you want to petition even the chief justice, you can do that.
All right.
That has become so
Comrade, I'm grateful.
No,
I'm grateful. Mr. Kujibu, so Comrade Ibrahim Murtala Mohammed is talking about tolerance.
I believe that the country, we are moving too much to the left. I think punishment, we are becoming too liberal.
Okay.
Punishment as a deterrent is very important. And what this punishment does, the 3 months given to the 4 months given to
30,000.
Yes, I think it should have been more. You see, I think the punishment, the essence of the punishment is as a deterrent, to deter people, okay? I am somebody that believe in when you do the crime, you should do the punishment. And the punishment should be as that it deters people from doing the wrong thing again. I don't think from today, if anybody goes to any radio station and starts mouthing off in a way, the directors, the producers, and the people in the radio station will allow them to do that. Why? Because of what has just happened. There's nothing wrong with the level of the punishment, and there's nothing wrong as a deterrent. To me, I think that they should have gotten more. But 4 months, it's okay. Let them serve their time. When they came back, they will have repented. No, if I would not
disagrees with the decision of the court, but he has the right.
What I'm saying is that it's serving as a deterrent. We are sparing the road in this country and spoiling the children in this country. I think that these people deserve what they got. My problem with people signing this petition is this. If you are a cabinet minister, okay, I don't think you should sign that petition.
What do you mean by that?
Well, I just if you're a cabinet,
the opinion is that.
My opinion is that if you're a cabinet minister, because you see, the position of a cabinet minister is not like an ordinary citizen. A cabinet minister does not know. You does not.
If you can allow me, sir,
a cabinet minister go on. A cabinet minister does not disagree with the president. That is why they are in cabinet. They go to cabinet and they take a decision. If you want to take a decision outside the cabinet and in the view that it does not go with the cabinet, you resign. I'm not saying the cabinet
has not taken a decision.
I know that, but my point is that when you have cabinet ministers signing that petition, okay, it's a different thing altogether. To me,
how different is it?
Because they are in a certain position whereby they go into cabinet with the president, and if you are talking about pressure on the president to disagree with his contemporaries, reason being that look, there are three, as he rightfully said, there are three arms of government. The CJ heads the judiciary, the speaker heads the parliament, and the president heads the executive. So the three, CJ, speaker, and the executives are the three leaders of our arms of government. The CJ was attacked on this thing. So if you want the president to pardon these people, the president in his conscience must agree to what they did. You can't pardon somebody or sign a petition if you don't agree to what they did.
No, it's not true.
I think
hold on. Somebody
comment, please.
Every year.
Comment, please. Allow me to know the question.
No. Doesn't mean that. What I'm saying is that no.
Okay.
To pardon someone, the person, we see, we have not even had the opportunity for them to serve the time. Let them do 1 month or 2 months, and then let's.
But that decision is for the president.
Well, my point: why are we putting the man in that position?
What position?
What I'm saying is that for his cabinet ministers to also do that, I am thinking from advanced democracy in the UK. When cabinet ministers come out to say things and it's in contrary to what they want, because you see,
it's
I
not
believe
true. It's not true.
Can you please address me so that you don't find
elections?
I'm not asking you to talk.
No, but it's not even true. In this Brexit elections, you had cabinet
What
ministers.
happened? They resigned.
Hold on.
They resigned.
They
resigned. In the Brexit that he talks about, most people that did not agree with David Cameron resigned.
Who resigned?
He himself has resigned.
No, I'm not talking
he himself has resigned. What I'm saying, let me please make my point. My point is this.
Please allow him to
I think that I personally think that cabinet ministers should not sign that petition. No, that's my opinion. Secondly, I think that they are putting undue pressure on the president, and it's not necessary because they want to put him on collision course with his contemporaries, the leaders of the arms of
parliament and
judiciary. Because if the president comes on in attack, and they made that in Supreme Court law, even the CJ, the Attorney General should have picked up on the things that the people said, because there was a level of criminality involved, and they did it. That is why they deemed it to bring upon themselves to do what they did.
Mr. Poku, let me ask you for you to wrap up and go to Mr. Titus Clover. You don't think that tolerance is interesting and exciting here? Mr. Tony Letha is against the president pardoning these persons. His wife is going to sign the petition. This is simply tolerance.
Well, you see, who signed the petition? Likewise, what I'm saying is that there is level of critique. You can criticize, like my brother said. You can criticize. We all, the space of democracy needs critique.
Right.
A good leader is one that knows the people who criticize him, because then you hear it and take it on board. If CJ and the Supreme Court does not listen to criticism, then it wouldn't be evolving and being a better system. They do listen to criticism, but not threats. What these people did was threats. And threats are not condoned in any form, shape, or form. Right. So if they threatened and they are sentenced to 3 months, and you assign a petition,
I've not asked you to come.
Well, they threatened and they were fined contempt. My point is that if they are signed to 3 months and you are petitioning, are you condoning what they did? That's why you are petitioning, or you are not condoning? That's the question.
It's wrong for them to say that 4 months is too much. So you said you think they should have had more. So if they are saying that reduce the 4 months and the
it will not be determined, because anybody else can do it, knowing very well that if I do it, I'll be pardoned.
I'm grateful.
I think that they should have done something to Canada.
Well, yes, I think so too.
Don't bring that one in.
If he was found guilty.
Titus is on the floor now. And I'm sure Comrade will not distract you.
He dare not.
No, he will not. I've warned him before he started. Okay, all right. Let's hear from you. So,
because you could see how comfortable I was sitting and listening to him.
Great.
for him to pour all his invectives and attacks on us. But please, you see, let us call a spade and not a big spoon. You have a political party called NDC, whose genealogy and DNA can be traced to a killing of 3 High Court judges.
No.
I'm saying the genealogy.
Titus, can we stay focused?
Let me speak.
I mean, if you say that,
what is the history of the NDC? Where did they come from?
No, it is unfair.
Where did they come from?
You're tracing.
Where did they come from?
You need to read the political history of Ghana.
Please,
and I can understand your
the man was punching and doing things. It's okay.
Move on. All right, Titus, please.
Do you know how the MP?
No. Comrade, I'll shut your microphone.
You see, first place, the BNI has disappointed us. And you know why? They said they don't have the capacity to carry out their threats.
That's the BNI.
True. The AG. Because the Supreme Court cannot defend themselves publicly. The institutions of state that are supposed to carry these things. But because they failed. And the day when the threat was issued was the day when those 3 High Court judges were being killed.
The day before.
The day before. What signal is it sending? What are they remembering? And you think that somebody issues threats, we should just leave it just like that? Have you taken the chance to listen to Montie FM before?
Oman FM, I listened to.
Oman FM, they criticize the NDC.
But if you stay focused, we'll make a lot of inroads. The Supreme Court went ahead and punished them. That is where we want to put our conversation.
When you do that, you truncate my thoughts.
Okay, please
I'm developing my argument.
I'm sorry, please go ahead.
It has moved from me to you.
When you listen, did you listen to what Harry Zako said on this Montie thing?
I haven't had the opportunity.
Yes,
They give him water.
I had the opportunity to call one senior member of government.
Who?
I'll not mention his
name.
You
didn't call anyone.
I'll tell you in private.
No,
comrade.
Tell us. You didn't call anyone.
I called the chief of staff.
Comrade,
we'll
run.
I called the chief of staff.
That is what I want to hear.
I called the Honorable Julius Debra.
Yes,
Ask him
I want to hear.
That the angle this Montie FM is going. And that day, the topic was Akufo-Addo. Insults. I said, if the way they are going, and we also start attacking the president, I don't think that's going to be for us. Okay. You should call those people to order. Because that is not the level of politics we wanted to do. Wow. There's a saying in Ghana, you want to push the neck of an elephant. And that is the justice of the Supreme Court.
What is your point, Titus?
My point, my brother, is that what the gentleman did was bad. And I'm expecting Murtala here, the way he's talking and should condemn the act.
Oh, but why?
I'm expecting him and his colleagues.
But did I support
and
that?
Those ministers you are supporting?
Wow.
Because you see, the word it's an affirmation that what the Montie guys were doing, they are comfortable with it.
How?
Exactly so.
No, are you suggesting
now
that those signing the petition are comfortable?
Is that what you're saying?
Is that what you're saying?
That is their prerogative. That they can do whatever they want to do. They can do. I don't challenge them. That is why Tonlita, who is the president's lawyer, he's against the acting.
But his wife
and I see his action are very noble. His
wife has signed it.
He's a minister of state.
And I think that is the beauty
he's a minister of state. They don't have to follow the background. They have to follow it.
Which is the background?
What you mean?
Because people have done wrong. When they were doing all these things, nobody could call this gentleman to order.
Oh, I see.
Nobody. They were happy. They were insulting, doing everything. Today, when they are caught in the law, we are saying that they should be pardoned. Of course, they are Ghanaians. What about those ordinary Ghanaians who go and steal goats and cows and chicken all over the place? Did you go? You. Did you go and say that they should be pardoned?
Which people?
Murtala.
Which people?
Those in your constituency, those who are found to be stealing ordinary yam.
They don't steal yam.
You understand?
They don't steal yam.
People who will steal.
I don't have criminals in our constituency.
Do you go and tell them they should be pardoned?
Your constituency, tell us.
You don't do that.
They don't steal yam.
So I seriously, I'm really disappointed.
In who?
In the way these NDC guys are going all over the place. You are putting on me. I want the president to sign.
You don't think it is your opinion?
It's a bad opinion.
And that the president can decide to
It's a bad opinion.
Okay, all right.
It's a bad opinion. Because you are putting the man in the situation we find himself very difficult. Because he's going to parade his advisors. to advise him.
To do what?
And that's the cabinet people.
No,
You understand?
It's not cabinet.
So-
it's council
so
of
he
state
has his
control.
advisors.
If you check, yes.
So if
He
the
will
president
consult
is
them
going
when
to
he wants
succumb
pardon.
to all these things, that he should go according to Article, I've forgotten the Article
72.
72,
yeah.
that he has the right to pardon, which we don't challenge. He can go ahead and pardon them. It means that he's affirming the behavior and the misconduct of these people.
Interesting.
To go wild everywhere.
Assuming
Insult,
right,
threaten, do
constitutionally.
anything.
assuming he reduces the 4 months to 2, does
If he
that
does
also
anything
If he
about
does
it,
even
anything
a
about
second-
it,
At all,
if he
just
does
agree.
anything at all
Right,
about it,
right.
it is to say that he supports
No,
it.
let me deal with the subject. Let me deal with the subject.
What do you mean by that?
If the president...
that's your view.
That is the view of our
All right,
society.
Titus, you go. No, it's
Your society.
It's
That's
your society.
not my view.
Oh, are you telling me that if a kid has
Okay,
something wrong in the house,
No,
okay, go ahead.
Titus is on
Say your
your
corner.
Okay, we ran out of time.
You know
though,
what?
please.
If His Excellency the President listens to this advice, and I tell you that advice will be a very bad advice. It is affirming. It is affirming that Montie guy should be given the license more because he has the backing of the president and his government. And remember, this Mugabe guy, you know what? He's trying to put some tribal sentiment to the whole thing. That because he's a Northerner, he has been. Can I have the floor?
don't even go
He guys trying to bring some tribal angle. It's because he's a Northerner that has been hauled to the Supreme Court,
But we
and
have
there are
said
so many,
we should vote.
there's so many NDC
I am-
big shots that have been to prison, and for that matter, he doesn't fear to go to prison. Is it because he's the North? It is because there are a lot of Northerners who are law-abiding people. There are a lot of Northerners who will not misbehave and misconduct themselves the way you did. So if you have been caught by the law and you have been dealt with, please keep quiet and allow the law to take its course. Why? Don't you have Northerners in the Supreme Court? Don't you have members of the Supreme Court who are from the North? So if they want to play the tribal angle, wouldn't they recuse themselves from the case? Mutala, just keep quiet.
Oh, he's not speaking.
He want to interject.
How do you?
I
now
see.
know
With his gestures. So what I'm trying to say is that Montie guys, even though Akogan is a very good friend of mine,
But you are happy he's in.
I'm not.
You are.
I'm not.
You are.
I'm not.
Oh, so those who are petitioning
not.
are against it. You see your
I'm
logic.
not.
You see your logic. You see your logic.
Comrade,
Those who are
comrade,
petitioning are in support.
Mutala,
You are condemning, you are happy.
Can we move on?
Mutala,
Your friend,
Let him
I will
wrap. I
tell
want
Stop being
Mr. Mujoko to
mischievous.
come in. Okay.
stop being
you
mischievous.
see your logic.
But what I'm saying is that
You are not.
the
Others are.
action is totally reckless. It is unacceptable. It's illegal. The Supreme Court and all judges in our court need to be protected like any other Ghanaians, because the judges, they don't have any opportunity to defend
Some of
themselves.
them speak on radio. recently.
Now, my own colleague, I was part of the vetting committee. Look at the story that is coming up. I feel very uncomfortable. Like my own colleague, I will sit here and be castigating. Do you understand? And when I meet in the chamber, I ask you, did you say this? That they should kidnap the Chief Justice?
Where did he say?
We cannot confirm
You see,
anything like that.
so it's the whole thing is a bit murky
Right.
and
He's been
quite
talking for-
unsavory
He
and
has
very
1 minute to wrap
disappointing.
up.
You know,
He has
you
1
have,
minute to wrap up.
please, you can't come in. You cannot.
Titus, please go on. Please go on.
So
Well, you
let
want
us
to have a
allow the Supreme Court judges and all of their colleagues to have their peace. They should continue. They should have the support of the police and the security of the state, including all of us. Why? When they gave President Mahama the verdict, were you not happy? He was wearing all white in the presidency.
The verdict was given by the people of
You understand?
Ghana.
When
The
the
verdict.
can I speak, young man?
No, but you, old
Can I
man,
speak?
you are referring to me, old man, so I have to respond.
You understand?
Okay.
When the
Come
judges
in.
gave him the verdict,
Okay, Titus,
they were happy.
You're wrapping up.
They were
for me.
jumping, hallelujah, rolling all over the place. And the same law lords are saying that what these guys have done is a precedent for all of us. All of us are social commentators.
Okay.
It doesn't matter only journalists. And again, this is not a way of trying to pin down press freedom. Not at all.
Oh, but that's
People have the opportunity
Why?
to speak
Don't-
their mind.
don't
But you
have
need
the
to be
right to
responsible.
Okay.
Yes,
Right.
not to threat.
Oh.
You need to be responsible
Please,
in
please,
everything. Oh, what is this?
No, you have been talking.
You have been talking more than I do.
He's wrapping up. Please wrap up.
Okay, talk.
I'm saying that,
Take
right.
minutes and talk.
I've heard the NDC and the apparatchiks, including ministers, including Mutala sitting here, that we are trying to suppress press freedom. That is totally untrue. We are not. We should be responsible in every statement that we make.
Okay.
And for that matter, if you think that what you are going to say will bring problem, keep your mouth shut.
Okay.
Don't go and say things that will land you in problems.
Right.
Do you understand?
Okay.
So
Titus,
please, people
I'm
can go
grateful.
ahead and make their statement, whatever, any shape.
Just
or
that
form.
be careful.
Be careful.
Okay.
Right.
What again are you going to say?
No one endorses.
What again are you going to say?
No one endorses what they said. What we simply
You have
are
endorsed
saying-
it. You are forcing the
please,
president to
please.
resign.
Oh, please. What
You
we
want the
simply are
president to
saying-
release them?
Oh, please. When I was making references to portions of the Constitution, I was doing it for a purpose. No one endorses any attack on the judiciary. It's
president
one
should
thing
resign.
that we will protect at any point in time. But what we're simply saying is that people signing the petition are also exercising their democratic and constitutional
Like
right,
the law
and
you
it
have
ought to be
done.
respected.
All right.
By the
And
way,
education
in this country, a gentleman called Red in Tamale shot a gun to disrupt electoral process. The then youth organizer, my senior brother, someone I respect so much, Mustafa Hamid, held a press conference in Tamale, threatened everybody excluding himself, threatened I'm coming. I'm saying it's a fact. I'm making please, I'm making
That's why I'm
Oh
saying
no,
that.
I'm making a factual
He's ready
statement.
here.
I'm making
Why?
a factual statement.
Factual statement.
I'm not guessing.
What is the
He
proof
threatened
of that?
everybody and
What is the proof
threatened
of
the
that?
commander of the prisons in Tamale.
What are you talking
Lo
about?
and behold, Red was taken out of legal custody, and the gentleman was transferred. These people are talking about respect to rule of law.
Is this
I'm coming. He's talking about the NDC.
Were you here when the judges gave order?
Okay.
Your
For the
party
South
was
Africans-
born out of chaos and anarchy and
For the
murder.
South Africans,
All right.
You don't
Okay.
know.
All right. Okay.
Who
Gentlemen,
asked you to
say
do
that?
that? What did you do?
Calm down.
Calm down.
What did you do?
Calm down.
Go there.
You calm
Did you
down.
kill the judges?
Calm down. Let me
Did
get.
you not kill judges?
Let me get Secretary
Who killed
Poku to
judges?
The
come.
NDC, did you not kill judges?
no,
Your
no,
peers.
no,
Where
Titus,
are they coming from?
Titus,
What are you
please.
talking about?
Titus, please.
Can I have the floor
Let's
now?
yes. Allow Mr. Secretary Poku to have the floor.
I think that
The president should go and sign.
one, that much is given, much is expected. And the journalist that sits on radio, that says a lot. Because you've been given the mic to speak to us,
You think they have
much
authority
is
and
been given
everything.
onto you, so much is expected of you. In a street parlance, they say that bad man don't take back the chat. Meaning that if you're a bad man and you sit on there and say what you want to say, don't take back the chat. Go to jail, do your time, and have your stripes. That's what it is. So they should do their time and
nobody is
have the
questioning. You
stripes.
see-
So when they come out, they can call themselves the bad
Let
man.
me
They think they
let me
are.
ask you this before we go. You see,
lopsided
you
analysis
can't
is making me-
gentlemen.
What is this?
None of you is on the
You
floor,
see-
please. No, I'm not.
The
asking of you.
executive-
You compare Manafort and Montie.
No.
What is this?
Mr. Kujupu, let's see.
Redo
on
go,
this
don't you
issue.
accuse-
Oh,
accuse-
Titus.
attack-
That's on
attack-
this issue. Now, the issue here, Titus
Don't need
is
to
suggesting, and you're also saying that if the president agrees to the petition, it means that he affirms what the Montie 3
Okay,
have done.
let
Is
me-
it also to say that
Okay.
if the president on July 1 decides to free some people based on
Some of them
his
criminals.
constitutional mandate, he affirms what they did and went to jail? Is it
Let me.
is that as simple as that?
Do you know how the pardon thing is done?
It takes some of our
It's
health,
the pardon,
good
the
behavior.
pardon thing. You don't go to jail, and in jail, okay. Whilst you are in jail, start beating up people and start and be pardoned. No,
But we-
pardon. There is a
okay.
process. There's a pardon board. There's a process. When you're in jail, one, you have to have recourse for what you did first.
Right.
You can't be Atayi cannot be in prison, still stealing in prison. Sorry to say. And be pardoned.
Even murderers
Okay,
can be pardoned.
murderers cannot be killing in prison and be pardoned.
How can
You
they
need to no. My point is that no, but people do. People
Comrade,
do.
you allow him. Allow him to
No, no,
develop his
What
point.
I'm saying is that
Comrade.
we have not had that process of recourse. The
Okay.
people just got sentenced.
Right.
They've just been settled in. They've not had the recourse. They've not had that. Listen, what you guys should have done.
So even if
is
the
let
president
dust
reduces the
settle.
4 months to 3.5
My brother,
months,
what I'm saying is that what they should have done, let the people go. Let the dust settle.
The people are already inside.
You understand? Let the
Exactly,
dust
they're
settle.
already
How,
inside.
the minute they were sentenced, the following day,
I think they
this
should
pardon.
give them 1 week.
No, I would take it if I said, look, if I do the chat, I will not take it back. But I wouldn't do it. I'm a bad man, so I don't take back the chat. That's me. My point is that look, if I would not say what is not right, because I'm well cultured, well educated, so I wouldn't do that.
Oh, but
they
don't
did.
say that those
No.
who say that.
My
It's kind of like
brother,
Japan, not
my
well
brother. Oh,
cultured.
I'm not going to go there with you. What I'm
That's
saying
what
to
you
you is
are
that
saying.
what I'm saying is that look,
Can I-
they should have let the dust settle. If we want the president to do something about it, let the people go in, have remorse, let them settle, and then start this thing, but it was too early.
People
the day
are
after.
expressing their democratic right, and you question that.
So you think that
I'm
the
not
judges
saying
say
that-
the judges cannot express their democratic right?
Nobody says that.
You think that judges cannot
I
express
don't
their
believe.
Look, let me tell you.
No,
let me
but
tell you.
gentlemen, let me be honest with you.
I did not
I don't
condemn-
believe
I
in
did
the
not
level of
condemn
democracy we
incarceration.
present.
If all
I think
three
that we
are
must
talking,
respect
nobody
the
is listening
judiciary,
to us.
But people also have
nobody's
the right to
listening to
express their
us.
democratic
Murtala
right.
Okay,
want to
all right.
spoil the show.
Okay.
Oh.
All right.
You see,
I think we are
there
done.
is a way.
We're wrapping
there is-
up our
there is- There's a
time,
way.